Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk. What an amazing game of football that we just witnessed. Napoli came from behind in Rome to score two goals with Kim and Kvara, K2, just like someone who left us, and win the game. And it was a performance that just got better and better and better as time moved on. We started badly, we started slowly. It seemed like we were maybe scared of this game because after tying against Fiorentina, after tying against Lecce, the pressure was on this game, was on these players, and if we wouldn't have gotten a good result, then it would have maybe set our season up for a bit of a struggle. And instead, the players, especially towards the back end of the first half, responded extremely well. And I'm just super proud of the performance of some of these guys, especially Kvara, who he's able to take on the responsibility at such a young age. He wants the ball, he wants to make things happen, and he does make them happen. And as well as our center backs. Our center backs have been amazing, absolutely amazing the last four games, and I think it's one of those things where I thought that was going to be our weakness this season, because obviously Koulibaly have left us. But wow, what a performance, guys! Before I read some of your comments, let me just get some of the super chats. Daniel Bowen, thank you so much for the €10 donation. What's up, Dom? Bro, I hate one goal leads on the road after 80th minute. Oh man, guys, one goal leads are the absolute worst thing in the last 10 minutes, especially when playing against a team like Lazio, who've got Milinkovic, Savic, Pedro, Immobile, all these amazing guys at home at the Olimpico, full crowd. Oof, it's tough. It's tough. So yeah, I understand what you mean there, and in fact that's why I'm a little late to this stream, because I just had to just relax a little bit before I get on the stream. Very anxious the last 10 minutes. Very mature performance, says Payman Dadgar, and thank you for the £4.49 donation. Thanks, man. I really appreciate your support of the channel. Proud of our guys. Kim, Anguissa, Lobo, Kvara, the best. Zelu and Politano, great. Osimhen, great. Hold up and did not complain. Oh my god, guys, everyone was so good today. Osimhen, his hold-up play today was incredible. The way he controlled the ball, the way he even did a few good dribbles. The only thing missing was a goal. He hit the post, he challenged the goalkeeper a few times. And I loved Politano coming in as well. I thought he gave something extra to Napoli's attack. He's, yes, maybe sometimes a little selfish. Sometimes he doesn't pass the ball. But you got to forgive him for that, because the other three times that he doesn't pass the ball, he's, dribbling past players, giving us a numerical advantage. He was instrumental at the end, tracking back. It was just a brilliant performance by Politano, maybe one of the best he's had so far, and it was thanks to him. I think that Kvara had a really good chance. He's the one that played the pass to Anguissa before it went to Kvara for the goal. Yeah, just a really good performance, guys, from Politano as well. Mike Xstat, I think he also donated at the start of the stream, so thank you, Mike, for your donation. And he said my anxiety is through the roof. Nicholas Wilger, as soon as Spalletti started playing around with the subs, I got a little worried, to be honest. Guys, Nicholas, that's a very good point that I want to bring up. So, okay, Politano came on in the first half, actually, at the end of the first half, because Lozano got injured. After that, he brought on Elmas and Raspadori in the second half on the 60th minute, and then he only made the final two subs in pretty much extra time, which means that we played 90 minutes pretty much with just making three subs and neglecting the other two available to him. Now, obviously, that could be because Politano had to come on in the first half, and so you only have 3 sessions to make subs, and you don't want to, make one in the 75th minute and risk that if a player gets injured, you can't then make any more subs, because we already brought Elmas and Raspadori on. But the other way you could read that is that maybe the guys that played against Lecce, which were mainly subs, they didn't impress Spalletti, and that's why he didn't put too many of those on. And in fact, out of the guys that he put on, the three guys that I'm talking about, two of them were there last season. Raspadori is the only new guy that came on. So Simeone didn't come on and all that sort of stuff. And Ndombele, Ndombele came on only towards the end. So I think there's a lot of work that needs to go into that. Chucky consistently hurt. That was a nasty collision since Maximus 1-3-1-8. Yeah, it feels so bad for Chucky. He started the season so well. He was getting minutes. He's becoming a starter, and then he gets injured. And let's see how important that is. We've got Liverpool coming up. We've got a lot of games. I just hope he's doing well, and this doesn't hinder him too much this season, because the last time he got really badly injured on his head, he missed all of preseason, and it was really bad for him because he didn't get the preparation for the season. Politano made a huge impact, says striking V3 in. Yeah, 100%. Rafael says Lozano Osimhen had a great game. The whole Lazio team was defending him all game long, which is one of the reasons Kvara was open. Oh, what a golazo. Yeah, 100%. 100%. An amazing game by Kvara. Not only that, he had the Maradona turn, and then he had the post. He did so much, Kvara. It's incredible. He's maybe, still... The great thing about Kvara is that he's still learning. He's 20 years old. He's going to improve. But wow, what a special player. Osimhen should have had a brace today. Couldn't finish for anything, says Maximus. I think that's unfair. He hit the post with his head. That's as accurate as potentially you could be, and it was a difficult chance. And then he worked the goalkeeper a few times, and the goalkeeper had to make some good saves in order for him not to score. Anthony Navarro is in the house. Hey guys, watch the game. Still on vacation. Hope everyone is well. Dom, thank you for doing your live. Love these. Gonna catch in when I can. Great concentration from Napoli. Much needed win. Osi bad today. So a lot of people are saying Osi bad. I thought he had a good game. But I'm gonna read out all your comments, guys. And if you guys think he had a bad game, then hey, maybe I'm the one that saw too much good in him today. But yeah, have a good vacation, Anthony. I hope you're enjoying it. Sufus Koba in the house saying, hey, can we talk about Zambo? This guy's just incredible. I love him. Wow, Zambo with another incredible performance as well. Dominated that midfield. In the first half, I thought he struggled, to be honest. I saw that he wasn't maybe helping out Lobotka as much. I saw him lose out on a few duels, and I thought, this could be tricky. This could get complicated for Napoli, because if Zambo doesn't play that well, then it's going to be tricky. And then from like the 30th minute onwards, he stepped it up and he was dominant. He was amazing in that midfield, and yeah, probably one of his best moments after the first 30 minutes. One of his best performances for Napoli. Lusty OG says first 25 minutes was tough. Yeah, and it's no coincidence that everyone had a bad game for the first 25 minutes, and then after that we picked it up. And I think, because Lazio scored so early in the third minute, I think it took 20 minutes for us to really absorb that goal. And then, I think Spalletti played a huge part on the touchline for that. He was so active today. I think Spalletti at times listens to Napoli talk, because I told him last time that he needs to be more active. He needs to participate in the game. He did that a lot today. Even got a yellow card, and that's what you want to see from Spalletti. And there was another time when I thought that he was watching Napoli talk. I said in the previous live that we needed to go back to having 3 men in the box when crosses came in, and this game we always had 3 in the box. So yeah, I don't know if he listens to this, but if you are watching this at some point, yeah, thanks for listening in. I don't think he's listening, guys. That's just me hoping, wishing that he did. Mario Abitino is saying striking the game isn't FIFA or stats. He was an outlet to pass and to give us breathing room. If you watch the game, he drew in the 2 center backs each time, leaving space for wingers. So Mario's talking about Osimhen. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought today he was instrumental for us, because he kept the center backs busy, gave them a hard time, and he didn't lose the ball too much. It was just really good play by Osimhen today. Let's see. Shmuel M. Politano's skill on the corner flag in the last minute were crazy. Yeah, guys, Politano in the last 5 minutes or in the last minute when he had, I think, three players on him and he managed to win a foul. I don't know how many of you guys were watching BT Sports, but the commentator was so biased against Napoli. He thought Politano dived. It was so clear that there was a foul on Politano, and throughout the whole game, every decision that was 50-50, the guy was like, oh, Napoli might get away with, or like whatever. He was always saying things that were not the case. Like he at one point thought that Lobotka made a handball in the middle of the box or in the middle of the field. That wasn't true. The goal that Napoli scored, he didn't think that was in. The commentator, everything that was 50-50, he said things against Napoli. And then the other guy, the second commentator, was like, well, actually, no, that's not the case. So, yeah. I don't know who was commentating for BT Sports, but yeah, not good. Not good enough. George Zagania saying Kvara, Kim, best. Yeah, 100. Kvara, Kim, and Rahmani for me had the best game so far. Good Politano game. Hope the haters can see it. Matt Marco. Yeah, look, Politano, he attracts a lot of haters because he doesn't pass the ball very much. But guys, a team like Napoli needs people that dribble because we otherwise would be way too static. So I love players that dribble because that's ultimately what's going to win you games. When you get that numerical advantage, when you can get past the player. And yes, sometimes it doesn't work out. Guess what? Kvara has the worst dribbling stats in all of Serie A. For attempted dribbles, he's only completed maybe 20 or 30%. It's one of the worst stats, and yet the few times that it works, that 20-30%, that's when he scores. That's when things happen for us. So it doesn't matter that you mess up another 10 times if that's going to give you a goal in the end. So, I think you got to attempt it. You got to attempt it. Otherwise, it's just too static. The other option is to pass it backwards or to pass it, you can pass it to an open teammate. But at the end of the day, a lot of the guys that I see hating on Politano, I take screenshots during the game. And when they say, oh, he should have passed it there, I go back on my screenshots and I see actually like, maybe that was a difficult pass anyways, and it was 50-50 between whether he should have taken a dribble or passed it. So I can't blame him too much, right? And he does pass it a few times. So I don't know. I never understood the hate Politano gets, honestly. I never understood it. I think he's a good player. I'm not necessarily saying he's better than Lozano. He's different. They play very differently. Politano likes to dribble and go in towards the center. Lozano likes to stay a bit more wide. They just give different options. And that's what's good about this Napoli team on the right, is that if we want a player that has a specific style, we use him. If we want a player with a different style, we can use Lozano. And when you actually play a game and the left back, their left back has to adapt to two such different styles during that same game, it's an extra weapon that we have because he can't just copy and paste what he's been used to doing all game. He's got to switch it up as well, and that's hard in football, to switch it up. Just when you think you're getting the better of someone, then they make the sub and you get a new player that does things completely differently. So I love the combination that we have, and yeah, as I said other times, I think we should always have a rotation between the two players. I hope Lozano injury isn't that bad, says Rudy Castillo. Yeah, it looked bad. I think right now he's at the hospital getting some checks. I think stuff like this, though, would maybe see him out for a week at most if he's got concussed. I expect Politano to start against Liverpool at this point. Rui is terrible today overall. He could have taken all those chances into big play. I don't think so. I don't think Rui was that bad. Terrible is a big word. I think everybody did a good game, and yeah, I think Rui as well had a decent game. Poli and Lozano are completely different, says Rudy. If you notice, Lozano usually try to shoot with the right on the left side of the fields, and Poli does the opposite. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. Player rating, says Tito Leofea. Easy, easy T, easy. I'm trying to read all of your comments. Let's see what Daniel Bowen is saying. Politano's a better sub than Lozano. Lozano's a better starter than Politano. They're a different style. Neither is better than each other. That's also a very interesting take. And you know what? I think you're right there, Daniel. I think he's onto something there. I think Politano works better maybe when he's got. Here's the thing. I think Politano works better when the game is more stretched. When the defense and midfield of the other team has played a few minutes already, because then the gap between the midfield and the defense increases, and then that's the gap that Politano likes to step inside in, going from the right to his left foot. So that's where he is best at, and yeah, it just suits his style. So yeah, I totally agree with that, Daniel, and I think maybe Spalletti also sees that, which is why Lozano's a starter, but that doesn't mean that Politano is less useful. It's just that actually Politano is even more useful in the second half, in my opinion. ZA is saying, talk about Ndombele. I think he is not a good player. Guys, give Ndombele time. He wasn't even training with Tottenham. He's physically not at the level yet, and at this level of football, when you're not at the level of other players physically, then that means you are a second slower to every ball. You run with the guys, you can't track back, you can't do anything, and you basically can't express yourself. When you get physically in the right shape, then you can show your quality. So guys, let's move on to the key moments in the game and taking a look at the analysis. We got to do this before the player ratings, guys, because the player ratings are based off what happened in the game, based off the analysis. So TT, you're gonna have to wait for the player ratings about 5 minutes. Audio is not good. Let me know, guys, if the rest of you agree with that. Guys, I don't have my big microphone with me. Okay, so if the audio is low, I'm gonna turn this up. Let me know now if the audio is a little bit better. I turned it up a few decibels. Let me turn that up way higher. All right, I'm gonna turn it up all the way up because I got a new well, it's not a new microphone. It's my backup microphone because my large microphone is still in boxes, which are not here because I just moved. And so I don't have all my stuff with me, and oh my god, it is so hot in Spain, I'm gonna have to turn on the AC. All right, way better, you guys are telling me. Cool, awesome. Right, so let's get started with the game. So this is the goal that Lazio scored in the first 3 minutes, and yeah, we had way too much. We gave Zaccagni way too much space. Way too much space. He took 3 touches and then he scored. I think Meret could have saved it, could have. Anyways, Napoli down, and the first 20 minutes were really bad because we were losing all sorts of battles. I mean, have you ever seen Anguissa on his, on the ground like that? Have you ever seen that? I've never seen that, and that's when I started to worry. When I saw Anguissa like that, I was like, oof. He's losing midfield battles. That's not good. No bueno. No bueno. And again here, 2 against 1, and Luis Alberto, was winning the ball against 2 people. So, yeah, the midfield just wasn't working in the first few minutes. Now, what did Spalletti do from the 20th minute onwards that allowed us to sort of slowly get back into the game? Because in the first 20 minutes, we just weren't finding any options. Spalletti told Zielinski to step back, all right? And on Twitter, people were saying, oh, Zielinski might as well be a center back. Guys, obviously Zielinski wants to play in a number 10 position, but if the ball doesn't arrive to him there, he's got to step back and help the play out. And that's exactly what he did. This meant that Felipe Anderson had to step away from Mario Rui because he had to cover Zielinski. Lazio remained with an extra man in the middle of the midfield, but no one was there because Zielinski moved back. When the ball comes to Zielinski, he could immediately give it to Mario Rui, and we basically bypassed the whole Lazio midfield, including the man that's in the middle that is basically marking no one, which is where Zielinski came from, if I pull the slide back, all right? So this was the way for us to gain an advantage numerically. Actually, by removing a player from the attack, we could then have more in attack, if that makes sense, because Mario Rui is pushing forward. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that for people, because I saw a lot of people complain on Twitter about Zielinski's position, and for me, I thought this was a genius masterstroke from Spalletti. Moving forward, guys, also another thing that Spalletti did really well today was that he pushed the fullbacks all the way up. Di Lorenzo and Mario Rui all the way up. That meant that Lozano and Kvara could get closer to Osimhen. You can see here Lozano is much closer to Osimhen than he normally is. Kvara is just out of the shot, but he's literally right off the shot. He's also quite close. That means that if the ball does reach Osimhen, for example, if Rahmani here passes it, lobs it over to Osimhen, the guy actually has an option. He's got options behind him, Zielinski, Anguissa. He's got options close to him, Lozano, Kvara. In past games, guys, they were all the way out on the touch lines, and it was just way too much of a risky pass. Them being closer meant that Osimhen actually had options if he received the ball. So yeah, that was another good thing that Spalletti did. We talked about it in the last live. This is why I think Spalletti watches Napoli talk, because I told him to do this and he did this. So yeah, you can thank me for the 3 points today, guys. Anyways, moving forward, Kvara here had an incredible chance to score. He basically created it himself, managed to win the ball back from midfield, cut onto his right foot, and then just passed it into the goalkeeper, and that was one of his two big misses today. But let me get some of the comments, guys, before I move on with the game analysis. I hope you guys are liking it, and I hope you guys are smashing that like button. Guys, I swear, if I go onto YouTube right now and I see that one of you hasn't put a like, I'm gonna go into your house and push that like button, make you push that like button. Actually, no, I can't do that, but you guys should definitely click that little window down here to minimize your screen, and then press like. And if you're not subscribed, press subscribe. Actually, smash it. But if you're not liking it, then don't do it. That's the important thing. If you're not liking it, don't do it. But you're here, so you're liking it, so go ahead and do it. Anyways, let me get some of the comments, guys. Yeah, the audio is good now, which is good. Elmas is no player for Napoli, says ZA. Whenever Kvara gets subbed, that side is dead. Yeah, so Elmas didn't have an amazing game this time either. He had a really bad game before the previous game. And Spalletti got mad at him a few times. Like, they were arguing within 2 minutes of Elmas getting on the field. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Spalletti was shouting at him all over the place. Diego Marquez, thank you so much for your $9.99 donation, man. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks to everyone that supports the channel. Sucks that Lozano got hurt. However, the case we have a strong starting 11 and bench included. This helps a team compete with one another, thus creating a competitive drive for trophies. Yeah, guys, I mean, you want to know why Michael Jordan was so good? Because he had a good team around him, you know? And the team was good because they had Michael Jordan around him. I watched the movie Hustle, and that was a line in the movie yesterday. And it makes sense, guys. If you have a good team, if you have good depth, a good bench, it just elevates everybody's game. And I think that the competition, for example, between Lozano and Politano is really good for the both of them to improve. And I think that they are always improving. And yeah, I really hope that Lozano can improve even more, can score more goals. I think he's not done that yet this season. Obviously, it's been only a few games. I hope he can get off the mark, and that he especially can recover really, really soon, because I think he's doing well this season, much better than last season. Meret was clumsy, but it worked today. He has to show more against Liverpool. All right. Yeah, I mean, Meret could have saved that shot, but then he had a really good save towards the end, and his passing accuracy has actually been really good, guys, which is maybe there was two things Meret needed to work on: his passing and his instinctive decision making, such as grabbing crosses. Now, the grabbing crosses bit, we still need to work on. He's still struggling, but his footwork has improved dramatically. Like, he's actually not making one mistake with his passing. Georgi is saying, I've seen a lot of Kvara games since he was 19 years old. The main point is that Kvara is using the space like no one can do. Today he got the space and used it. Yeah, and the fact that he can dribble right foot, left foot, everything is just incredible. The defenders don't know which direction he's going to go. For example, here he went to the right and shot. The game against Monza, he went to the right, cut back into the left, and then shot with his left foot. So the defenders will never know what he has up his sleeve. And oh my God, Kvara, oh my God. This moment of the game, when he did a Maradona turn around the Lazio midfield, and then from outside the box released an amazing shot, guys. Like, he hit that so cleanly, and it hit the post. And this guy is incredible. He can score left foot, right foot curlers like we saw against Monza. He can probably score these extremely strong shots like this one that hit the post straight down. He scored with the inside of his right foot curving into the goal in the second half. He can score in any way. He scored with his head. He can score with any part of his body, this guy, and in any way. It is a joy to watch, and he is an incredible talent. I'd argue the best player in Serie A at the moment, hands down. I'm sorry, but he is. He won Player of the Month in August. Nothing is stopping him from winning it every single month, because he is a game changer. He is just different. He is different, guys, from everybody else. And you know, I don't make too many transfer videos. I didn't, for example, make one on Simeone, Raspadori, Ndombele. I didn't make it on anyone. The one guy I made it on in April was Kvara, because when I saw Kvara play back in March, April, when he was first being linked to Napoli, wow, I fell in love. I fell in love, guys, and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna say that this guy is the real deal, and if it backfires because he's coming from the Russian league and no one has heard of him, so be it. But I'm taking my chances with him, and I was like the only person that believed him. I saw Twitter in April when he was being linked to replace Insigne, and now we see the difference. And yeah, the guys from Georgia, which I know are following the channel, they were the only ones that believed in him. They were commenting under that video saying, you guys will see. And wow, what a player you guys have. What a player. Sorry I'm late, but big result. Forza Napoli sempre. New York, Napoli. I hope that Lobotka wouldn't get injured this season, because without him it would be really hard. Yeah, even though Lobotka today didn't have an amazing game, actually he gave away a corner, and at one point I thought, I'm losing this game. If Lobotka's giving away the ball and his passes, his long balls were really inaccurate, I thought, But luckily that wasn't the case. Mattias Bifani, too much space between mid defense, which makes us vulnerable to shots right outside the box. Yeah, especially in the second half, and luckily Lazio didn't score from a few of those. Matteo Casale saying, I think Meret gets too much stick. He's playing very well and should have 5 clean sheets. If we could defend better, he'll grow in confidence the more he plays. Yeah, I mean, I think some of the criticism is a bit too hard. Could he do better at times, though? Yes. Valeri Jojashvili has put a comment in what looks like Georgian, but I don't speak Georgian, so I'm sorry, buddy. I can't help you out there. I wish I could say what you're trying to type, because I'm sure it's amazing things about Kvara, and I want the world to know how amazing Kvara is, but I don't understand Georgian, so I'm sorry, man. Osimhen played better with his feet. I feel like he has improved his footwork slightly, trying to find space not only with his running but also handling the ball better this time. Yes, I agree with Lawrence, and just a big improvement from even the start of the season. I thought he really struggled with that against Verona, and then today he was really, really good with that, and I don't think he lost the ball, Osimhen, today. George Zagania he is saying that he didn't get passes. I thought Kvara got quite a few passes. I mean, the fact that he had a few chances shows it. I mean, somebody had to pass it to him for him to score, right? Right? I mean, that's how it works. So, yeah, I mean, this is, guys, okay, here's the problem. I get that you guys have, a lot of people are Napoli fans just because of a specific player, all right? You guys weren't following Napoli before certain players. So, for example, Lozano comes to Napoli, and you get all of Mexico that supports Napoli. And all the Mexicans want everybody to pass it to Lozano. Then Osimhen comes to Napoli, and you get all the Nigerians that support Napoli, and all the Nigerians want the ball to go to Osimhen. Now Kvara is at Napoli, and you get all the Georgians supporting Napoli, and all the Georgians want the ball to Kvara. Guys, there's 11 guys on there, on the team, and I understand that you, as a Georgian, want to see Kvara with the ball. I even want to see Kvara with the ball. I understand those that want to see Osimhen with the ball. I understand those that want to see Lozano with the ball. But there's 11 guys, and they're playing for Napoli. They're not playing for the national team. They're not playing for you. They're not playing for themselves. They're playing for Napoli, okay? There's a team out there. Everyone is talented, guys. Everyone is more or less top class, and it's normal that you're going to get players that, you know, are not always going to give the ball to the same guy, you know? Otherwise you would get, it would be way too repetitive as well. You know, if we always pass it to Kvara, then it's too predictable. Instead, we gotta change it up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope you guys, you know, understand that. But I think everyone is getting their fair share of chances and touches of the ball. I mean, we see Osimhen get a lot of chances. Kvara has a few chances. Lozano's doing well this year. Politano, for all the Italians out there, even though I don't think they really care about Politano. You know, I think everyone's getting a good amount. So H is saying don't give the ball to Lozano though, lol. He is at a bad form now, sadly. It'd be super funny if H was Mexican, because I just said how every Mexican wants Lozano to receive the ball, and he's like, nah, not me. But I don't think he is Mexican. Let's see. SJ says, turned up late, but as I expected, typical Napoli. Can't beat Lecce, yet beat Lazio. If we sort this inconsistency out, we would win the Scudetto. Guys, as I said against Lecce, that's a completely different team from this one here. That team was different formation, had 6 changes. If we had this team against Lecce, it would probably finish 2 or 3-0. The problem is we didn't have this team, so you're comparing apples and oranges. It's not that this team is inconsistent, it's that we had different teams completely in the 2 games. Let's move on to the goal now from Kim. And guys, what is it, 4 games? 5? 4 games? Is it 4 games or 5? One of the 2. Either way, guys, I think he's only played 4. Kim has already 2 goals. All right, that's huge. And I said in a video last year about Koulibaly, the one problem with Koulibaly is that maybe it was even 2 years ago, I said the one problem with Koulibaly is that he doesn't score enough goals. And I said if you look at some of the most important center backs in past years, like let's take a look at Sergio Ramos, Bonucci, Chiellini, as much as I don't like saying their names, these are guys that were consistently scoring every 10 games at least. So they would finish the season with 3 or 4 games. Let's not even speak about Sergio Ramos, who would score in the most important games, in Champions League finals and all that sort of stuff. Guys, center backs scoring are huge. Like, they are the expected scorer of corners. So, you know, if you have 10 corners a game and you've got a center back that's capable of every 10 corners scoring a goal, that's 1 goal a game. I know it doesn't work like that, but you know, you see what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, that's the one thing that Koulibaly didn't really have. He scored a few against Juventus and 1 on goal. But throughout the 8 years or so that he played with us, I think he had less than 10 goals in 8 years, which is really low, really low. And if Kim can provide us 5-6 goals, that's massive. That's absolutely massive and so underrated. Fair point, but then Spalletti needs to work out how to rotate the team better so we don't drop 2 points against Lecce, says SJ. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of games coming up, and I think he wanted the players to be fit for Lazio and Liverpool. He expected that team to beat Lecce, the one with a lot of changes, and it's disappointing that they didn't. But if there was one team to do it against, it was probably Lecce. Spaceman is saying, I am so proud of Kim. Maybe Spaceman is Korean, South Korean. Or he's from outer space and he's happy for Kim because Kim is an absolute extraterrestrial being. I mean, the guy is amazing. He's a monster. He's built different, Kim. So yeah, maybe that's one spaceman to the other. Who do you think is going to play against Liverpool? Same lineup as today? Yes, except Politano instead of Lozano because of the Lozano head injury. What do you think about the coach who takes Kvara out of the game early? What is the reason? I think the reason is that he wants Kvara to be 100% against Liverpool. 100%. That's the only explanation I have. And I think that he took Kvara out and put Elmas and Raspadori, and I think that those two guys defensively are slightly better. Elmas because he's actually a bit of a midfielder, and Raspadori because he just gets up in your face. I know he's small, but he's just always there trying to chase the ball back, and I think so defensively when you're winning the game, they make a bit more sense than Kvara. I don't think we needed to score anymore, so that's also the reason why. Also kind of scares me that Raspadori is not playing that well as of right now. I expected him to make a difference whenever he comes in so he can earn the spot. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Raspadori as well. He hasn't had the same impact as Kvara and Kim, but you know what? Part of me is also happy about that, and I'll explain why. This is some backwards thinking, but I fully believe that no player, unless your name is Messi or Ronaldo, will have one season when they are always at the top. Every player is going to have some cycles, okay? The important thing when you have a team is that when some players are down, such as Raspadori now, there's other players that are at their peak, such as Kvara. There will be a time when Kvara will go down and Raspadori maybe will then go at his peak. If you can time that, I know it's not something that you go out and time. It's not like Spalletti saying to Raspadori, hey, don't peak yet. But I'm saying it could happen that as Kvara's form starts to dip at some point, maybe that's exactly when Raspadori starts to pick up. And if we can have that balance throughout the season, then you've always got someone that's capable of scoring, that's capable of making the difference. Because what happens if you have everybody at the top at the same time? Then yes, you win 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. But then what happens if if you have that for a month and then everybody dips at the same time because they can't keep it up for a month, for another month? Then all of a sudden that's when you start getting the 0-0s, the 1-1s, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not saying you need players to be out of form, but it's not the end of the world if someone is out of form if their substitute is at their peak. You guys get what I'm trying to say? I don't think maybe that made perfect sense for some of you, but I hope it made sense for others of you. But yeah, that's like some backwards thinking. Anyways, I got some Koreans in the house, which is cool. Min Jae World Class. Is that your actual YouTube name? That's incredible, man. And shout out to all the South Koreans, the new fans. Forza Napoli sempre. And they've got some really cool emojis. Damn, I love South Korea. How come South Korea has all these cool emojis on their chats? That's awesome. Is main Ars Bobs. Kvara, hello from Georgia. Hello from Georgia. Guys, I love the fact that people are following from all over the world. We're connecting a lot of people everywhere. Min Jae World Class, he scored an important goal. Yeah, 100%, 100%. This is such a dominant header by Kim. Just so much rage. I mean, he hit the post, it bounced out, and yeah. And guys, look at that. Look at that. That's so close. That's so close to not being a goal, but it was in. Hello from Guatemala, Central America, says ZA. Wow. We don't have Guatemalan players, so you must be like a proper fan from, well, just the team instead of, you know, from a player. But even if you're coming here because of a player, I hope you stick around for the team. And then this is what I was saying about Napoli improving compared to the game that we had against Fiorentina. And against Fiorentina, I put on the analysis that we only had 2 people in the box, and that wasn't causing the defenders enough problems. We needed Anguissa to come inside the box. That's what I said, and we need Zielinski or someone outside of the box to pick up any loose balls, and that's exactly what Napoli was doing today. And unfortunately, it's from this cross that Lozano gets hurt, but he managed to get his head on the ball, and that's only possible because we also have Anguissa there. So they're always going to have 2 players on osimhen. If Anguissa comes in, then that's another defender occupied, and it leaves Lozano free. We always need Anguissa making that run. ZA saying, visited Napoli this past June. Hope you liked it. And then, yeah, this is Lozano getting stretchered off. Hope he's okay. Politano came on, and I think he made a difference with in the second half. He was incredible. Made an amazing run here. Gave the ball to Kvara. See, I don't think Politano is a selfish player. I just think he loves to. His style is that he dribbles to attract players because he knows that that will free up someone else. So in this case, look at, there's 3 players on him. That's freed up Kvara, and then his intention is always going to be to then pass it, or if he has a lot of space to shoot. But I mean, he doesn't hold the ball because he's selfish. I don't think at this level things like that even exist. I think they're all playing for the benefit of the team, and it's just his style. He knows he'll attract players, and then it'll free someone else. And in this case, he found Kvara, but Provedel was so good off his line. That's maybe another thing that Meret needs to work on, getting off his line. And Kvara here showing some skill, crossing it to Zielinski, who this time he was the one making a run inside the box, and the goalie made a really good save. Then we had osimhen hit the post, but then shortly afterwards we also had this miss from Kvara out of all people. I mean, Zielinski did a beautiful dribbling inside the box, freed himself. You thought he was going to pass it to Politano. Instead, he turns the other way, passes it to Kvara, but the cross had so much pace that it was actually super difficult for Kvara to keep it down. This is actually not an easy chance at all. Not an easy chance for Kvara. Yes, he should have scored, but it's not easy. I think people would exaggerate if they said that this was easy because it had so much power, so it's hard. I'm from Panama. Players are not good here. I don't think a Panamanian player will be playing at Napoli anytime soon. That's pretty funny. Who knows, man? Who knows? Let's hit 100 likes. Are we even close to 100 likes? I don't know. I'm not even following. There's 100 likes now. There's 166 of you guys. So good turn up in today's game. That's really good. Very happy with that. Guys, make sure you are subscribing, liking the channel. It really helps me out. Really motivates me to do these videos more, to give you guys all these analysis. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for that, guys. Barone04 saying, I'm not liking Ossi yelling at everyone that doesn't pass to him every time. I don't like it either a lot of the times, but I love the attitude that he wants the ball. So there's positives in that, because I think some of the best number 9s are like that. They always want the ball. They say, give it to me, I got this. And that's a trait that some of the best number 9s have. It's a problem when, you know, the center back does it. You don't want to give the center back the ball all the time. But I think a number 9, yeah. And then I think the players themselves know that this is just Osimhen being really eager to score rather than him having a go at them, you know, too much. Min J World Class comment says, Napoli Champions League, let's go. And then again with the really cool emojis. I need to figure out how you do that. What is that? Is that a duck? I have no idea. Are the transfers over now? Antonio Tonti, yes. And I am planning, guys, to make a really cool video about the transfers, not just Napoli's transfer, but some of the top teams' transfers. And it's not your typical transfer video. You'll see. I'm not going to spoil anything, but stay tuned for that video. It's going to come soon. There's going to be some guests. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed so that you can follow that in the next few days, hopefully. Can't wait for Napoli versus Liverpool, says Mateus David. Yeah, me too. And I think, you know, with Liverpool tying 0-0, with us winning a really tough game, coming from the back, yeah, it's going to be a good time to play Liverpool. But yeah, this is, I think, what Ossi did really well today. He received the ball, put it down, went past a few players, had a shot on. That's what you want from your number 9. And yeah, a little bit selfish here, but we like that. As I said, you know, sometimes you got to play the passes, other times you got to be selfish. You got to switch it up. You know, you got to be unpredictable. So I don't mind that a player takes the ball and runs and dribbles. I actually enjoy that from time to time. Damn, you guys are going crazy with the emojis. I have no idea how you guys are doing that. That's so cool. All right, awesome. It's actually pretty funny. Zach Padugan, hi from Australia. I have to get up at 4:45 a.m. to watch the game. Don't regret it. Oh man, Zach, my man, getting up at 4:45 a.m. from down under. Jeez, that's dedication. That's dedication. That's almost as dedicated as me doing this on a Saturday night in Barcelona, but we do it. Victor Osimhen, kisses, says Minje World Class. I'm starting to really like him, and yeah, and all the he started the emoji trend with which everyone is doing, so that's really cool. What are those? Are those kittens in a box? Let's go. Visavius is saying, guys, Visavius has a Discord, a Napoli Discord. It's super cool. Since there's a lot of you on the show today, I want to give a shout out to Visavius for having that Discord, and the link is in the description, so go check that out as well to talk about Napoli. Top guy. George is saying, give us ratings, please. Almost. There's this Kvara goal. Rahmani with an amazing clearance. I thought he had a great game. Meret with a good save from a cross. And then that's it. So now we can finally go to the ratings, guys. The moment you've all been waiting for. The emojis are absolutely off the charts today. Off the charts. So here are my player ratings. I'll start with, who do I start with? I'm going to start with Kim and Rahmani. So Kim, obviously, amazing goal. Got us back into the game at a crucial time of the match as well, because we were, you know, if we didn't score in the first half, I don't think we would have won the game. And him and Rahmani kept guys like Milinkovic, Savic, and Immobile quiet all game. The one goal that Lazio scored didn't have anything to do with them. It was at most Di Lorenzo who gave him too much space, but even then, you know, I understand why Di Lorenzo covered the area of the field that he covered. And it was just a good goal by Lazio. But Kim and Rahmani, wow, incredible today. Meret, I thought he did okay with his feet. He had a good save at the end, so 6.5. 3 nines, says John Pushil. So yeah, guys, I mean, I never give 9s. I give 10s only in very, very special occasions. I think I gave it out like once or twice. 9s, maybe this is like my 5th time ever giving 9s, and 3 of them are in the same time. But I mean, let's talk about them. Kim, he's incredible. The revelation of the season so far, because I think Kvara, I expected him to be good. So I'm not even surprised by Kvara. But Kim, wow. I mean, to replace Koulibaly, Rahmani stepped it up today as well. He put his head on the line. I mean, he literally blocked the shot with his head and got knocked out. That intervention that we showed earlier, a few minutes ago, where he almost scored an own goal but didn't, beautiful. And as I said, he was brilliant in keeping Immobile quiet all game. And then Kvara, Maradona turns, hit the post. He made things happen. Yes, he screwed up a few times, but what I loved about it was that after he screwed up, the next thing he did was always better. So, okay, he screwed up his first chance where he cut inside and took the shot on his right foot. A normal player would be like, oh man, I'm having a bad game. Instead, Kvara, no, does a Maradona turn, shoots from outside the box and hits the post. Then he misses a chance in the second half where he takes his touch was a little too long and the keeper comes out and collects it. Any player would be like, oh man, it's really not my day today. And then boom. Actually, then he had another miss. A really bad one where he skied it. Any player would be, oh man, I'm just gonna back out. Instead, no. Kvara went in and demanded the ball from Anguissa and scored the winning goal. And you know, he didn't shy away. He hit that with power. And after missing a shot a minute ago where you skied the ball, to hit it with that much power, knowing that it could go up again, but it didn't, wow. I just loved the mentality of Kvara today. I liked Osimhen. He hit the post. I thought he was pressing really well. I haven't seen Osimhen press this well in a long, long time. It brings me back to the Osimhen of before the injuries. Lozano did well in the first few minutes. Anguissa had a really good game. Zielinski as well, created chances. I think Lobotka was maybe a little under what he usually does. Still a good game, but a lot of bad long balls and gave away, I think, a really silly corner. And the fullbacks, I think, were really good. They had a difficult job today. They had to be brave because, as I showed in the analysis, Spalletti asked them to go super high. And when you're playing against the Lazio team, which has some good wingers, Felipe Anderson, Lazzari, all these guys, it takes courage to be that high up the field, you know, and they had to do a lot of running. So congrats to them. And then Politano, I thought he came on and I think he changed the game. He gave it a little bit more pace. And the other guys that came on, pretty much average or didn't play enough. So let's see the comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. 2 9s, non ci credo, says John Pushilo, which means I don't believe it. Actually, it's 3 9s. I expected Zambo higher, to be honest. He had a really good game. He was everywhere. I think maybe yes. I think maybe a 7.5 for Zambo. But I didn't like him in the first half. And there was a few moments in the first 30 minutes where I thought he was out of position, not really helping Lobotka out too much. He lost out on a few duels. But he recovered really well. And yeah, to be fair, I think that should be a 0.5, 7.5 at least, because he had an assist, which doesn't happen too often. So, you know what? I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to take your feedback. And I'm going I'm going to actually give him an extra 0.5. So let's do that right now, guys. We are updating these reports live. Let's give Zambo a little 0.5 there. There we go. Beautiful. 7.5. Now that looks like I just gave him a 5 because it's huge. Let me make that a bit smaller. Cool. 7.5. There we go. Yeah, that kind of works. The font's a little different, but we move. And I just, you know, I want to take your feedback, guys. This is not a this show, for the guys that are new here. This show is not about me talking about my opinions of Napoli. Obviously, I'm going to have my opinions, but I really value what you guys say, so I read out the chat. That's why I have it on the screen, on the video. Everyone can see it, even when they replay the video back. And yeah, if I agree with something that you say, if you change my mind about something, then of course I'm gonna update what I think. Politano should have got an 8. When he came in, the game completely changed. He created so much. You guys are gonna make me change and give. I can't give him an 8. I can't give him an 8. At most a 7.5. Because I feel like if you're part of the front three, to get an 8, you have to have at least an assist. At least. Obviously, it's better if you have a goal. But yeah, I mean, when you're part of the front three, to get an 8 in my books, you gotta be, you know, really like, you gotta be decisive on the score sheet. Zielinski should be higher. I think him and Kvara dictated our attack. When they left, we suffered creating chances. Yeah, but guys, 7 is, guys, I think you guys have to realize that 7 is really good. 7 is, so my average is, like, the 7 is good. My average, like, when you have a decent game, I give a 6.5. 7 is you had a good game. And yeah, anything more than that, anything more than a 7 is you were decisive. Like, you had an assist, you had goals, something like that. Okay, you could say Osimhen, why is he then a 7.5 if he didn't have a goal or an assist? Because I think Osimhen, first off, he played the whole 90 minutes, Zielinski only 60, and second, he was a real pain for the center backs, and hit the post. That's pretty much as close as you can get to a goal, which is why it's not an 8, but it's a 7.5. Dom, are you Elmas in or Elmas out? Says John Pushillo. I'm Elmas in. Elmas in because he showed last year that he's good. And as I said, him, Raspadori, Simeone, right now they're not in form, but the season is long. They're going to have their moments. Elmas, you know he's going to be decisive. He scored a goal against Lecce. He's already gave us 1 point at least. So I believe in the guy. Does he need to do more? Yes, 100%. And he's not even new. He's been here 3-4 years now. He's got to show us what he can do. But I'm just hoping it's a slow start to the season, and it's nothing more than that. I want to know who spotted Kvara. Last season in Russian League, he got 2 league goals, I think, 4 already in 5 games for us. So, guys, the thing about players and stats is that, okay, so how many of you guys played football before? I think all of you. And I think you can all agree that when you have a good team around you, you play also better. Why? Because the quality of chances that you receive are better, because you can give better chances to them. Your teammates make better runs. They know how to finish the passes that you give to them, so your assist tally goes up. Obviously, they give you better passes, so your goals tally goes up. They create better space for you, so you can do more things. So actually judging a player that plays in relatively bad teams is really hard. And I think it's normal that actually he comes to Napoli in a better team and his stats go up. I think it's completely normal. Instead, a lot of people think, oh, if you have 10 goals in Russia, then you're going to have 5 in Italy because it's a harder league. Maybe not. Maybe you're going to have 20 because you're playing with better players around you. Yes, the competition is also harder, but if your players can be better than the competition, or if the difference that your players make is better than the difference of the competition is, then your stats should go up. So Yeah, I mean, I personally was always like that when I played football. If I was around people that were better, I played better, and if I was around people that were no good, then I was also no good. But that's probably because I'm not good enough to make any sort of difference by myself. And also, it's kind of hard from CDM to make differences. But yeah, Elmas was getting in good positions but making bad decisions and poor passes, and he's better in midfield. Yeah, he was making bad decisions, and Spalletti was getting quite mad at him. And let's talk about Spalletti. I give him a 7 because he, just like against Verona, we go down in the first chance that the opposition gets, and he doesn't lose his cool. He tells the team to keep playing. He modifies things a little bit. He tells Zielinski to drop back, allow Mairo Rui to get the ball a bit more, change things up. And I think the talk that he had at halftime was super influential, because when we came out from the changing rooms into the second half, I think Napoli was on a different gear. So he must have done something there. And yeah, credit to him for not bringing on players that were not ready, such as Ndombele too early, because maybe that would have cost us. So yeah, I think he really valued this game and wasn't already thinking about Liverpool, which maybe could have been a risk for today. So yeah, SJ is saying, I just want to know who spotted Kvara. I don't know who did. Actually, he was quite close to joining Juve, is what they say. And then the sporting director got fired. He went to Spurs. Spurs didn't really rate the guy. And then Juve didn't rate him. It was just the guy that moved to Spurs that rated him. And then Giuntoli stepped in. But Napoli's scouting system is one of the best in the world. I mean, Kim could play in any team, and his release clause was 20 million. There's teams out there that have spent so much more on center backs. Bayern spent 80 million on De Ligt. They could have spent 20 million on Kim, and I think Kim is as good as De Ligt. So, I think Napoli, they know that they can't spend 80 million on a defender, and so they focus on scouting and they focus on value for money. And I know that fans sometimes don't want to hear that. They want to spend 80 million on players and stuff like that. But I mean, it's also nice to see that a team is able to do things the right way, which is find talent and yeah, instead of just buying whoever is best on FIFA, I think it just makes things a lot more interesting and fun. I want to see Gaetano play a lot more, says Shmuel. I think that Gaetano will find some chances, and I'm surprised that he didn't feature. Obviously, he was suspended the first 2 games. But yeah, I mean, this midfield is quality. I mean, these guys, these 3 here, they are... How are you going to find space in that midfield? That's why Napoli has no financial issues, and Milan, Inter, Roma, and Juve got trouble for overspending. Yeah, Milan, Inter, Roma, and Juve all got fined by UEFA a few million euros, and their Champions League teams are smaller than Napoli. So Napoli can register 25 players. They can only register 23. Now, I think the fines that UEFA did are quite low. I think they need to be harder with that. But yeah, I mean... The other thing is that they can kind of get away with it. The Italian government and Italian politics will never allow Lazio, Roma, Juve, Inter, and Milan to fail. Why? Because Lazio and Roma are the teams of the capital, especially Roma. And you can't have a nation where the capital team is in Serie B. So... And this is not conspiracy. This is something that happened in the early 2000s. Roma was in huge, early mid-2000s, Roma was in huge debt. Every other team that had even a fraction of that debt, including us, got sent all the way down to 4th division. Roma instead got loans from banks to keep them up. Inter, Juve, Milan, they're the three symbolic teams in Italy. They're never going to allow that to happen, so banks are always going to lend them more money. No one is going to come save Napoli if we go down. No one. No one's going to move a finger to help Napoli. That's what you guys got to get into your head. A lot of guys are like, oh, but we just want to overspend and spend and spend because the other guys are doing it. They can do it. We can't do it. It's not that we don't want to. It's like we can't. We will die as a club if things go bad. If we start spending 80 million here, 80 million there, 80 million there, and we go into debt and these transfers don't end up working out, because football is not math. It's not like you buy someone 80 million and he's going to score 20 goals. No. You could buy someone for 80 million and he scores 2 goals and it doesn't work out. So if you screw that up too many times, you go into debt, no one's going to save you if your name is Napoli, or if your name is Fiorentina, or if your name is Palermo or Parma. So many teams have failed and got sent to lower leagues. So, yeah. So it's good. We need a good scouting department. We've got that, and it's good. And I like the way that we operate. It keeps me calm that there's a future for the club. You know, actually, if we were to spend a lot of money and be in debt, I'd be super worried about the club, and I don't want that. So, yeah, obviously the best solution would be to have some super rich owner that just would put in the money. But yeah, until we have that, it's better not to be in debt. But yeah, guys, that's the ratings. The stats show that we were, I think, the better team. I mean, if we go here, we had more precision in the passes, 88 against 82. We had more possession, 62 against 38. We had more shots on goal, 7 against 2. More shots overall, 19 against 8. And we had more corners, 8 against 6, which I have just learned today that it's called saques de esquina in Spanish, because I'm in Spain. So my Google is in Spanish again, and I haven't changed it. And that's the table for you guys now. So Milan and Napoli with 11 points. Napoli have so far played Lazio and Fiorentina, which is, I think, 2 of the top 8 teams, but maybe the bottom 2 or 2 of the top 7. Well, maybe excluding Atalanta. And not in the top 7 now because Fiorentina is 10th, but where I think they'll end up at the end of the season. I think Lazio and Fiorentina are going to fight for that 6th, 7th, 8th spot together with Atalanta. Milan, meanwhile, have already played Inter and Atalanta, so a bit tougher. Roma and Juventus have already played each other, and Inter has played Milan and Lazio and lost both of those, and that's key right there. Inter is, out of the top 6 teams, the only one that has lost a game, and not only that, they have lost 2 games. So I think they'll recover from this. Obviously, they're not always going to play against tough opposition, but it goes to show that something is not quite right at Inter. They got dominated by Milan, and they're failing so far in the big games. So let's see how that continues. And then down at the bottom, poor Monza, 0 points, as well as Cremonese. And then my prediction for the year is that Verona goes down. It's going to be between them and Samp and Lecce, in my opinion. But I really think Verona is going to go down. I mean, I hope Verona goes down. So, yeah, that's my prediction. So, let's see. 38th lowest Poseidon state from any Sarri team. Yeah, 38% possession. It's such a tongue twister. 38% possession for a Sarri team. That shows that we were the better team, because Sarri would usually have at least more than 45, even though when he was at Napoli, had in the 60s. But you know, Lazio is not the same team, and they often play against teams that are better than them. But even when they play Inter, Milan, all that kind of stuff, I don't think they ever have as low of of possession is that? Only 38%. Lecce are low-key a tough team. They play like a mid-table team against Napoli, yeah. And they almost got a point against Inter, and they already had games now against Napoli and Inter. I thought they played well in both those games, so I think they'll survive. I'm a little bit more worried about Verona and Samp, actually. And guys, these are our next games, so tough ones. Really, really tough ones. Liverpool, maybe then a little bit of a breather against Spezia, but as I always say, playing against these teams at home is difficult because they will park the bus. So, and the more time that goes on without you scoring, it's like that bus gets bigger. It's not the same sized bus. Like every minute, that bus is getting bigger. It gets harder and harder to score against these teams as the game goes on. But Liverpool and Rangers and Milan, woof, that's going to be good. That's going to be juicy. And it's going to be an incredible month of September, hopefully. And it could go either way. It could go fantastically for us. It could go poorly. It could go straight down the middle where we draw here and there. Maybe we get a draw against Liverpool, a draw against Milan, win the other ones. That would be a decent month, to be fair, if we do that. But yeah, it's a lot of good games, a lot of back-to-back. I mean, we're talking in the next 2 weeks, we have 4 games. So that's good. And then there's a break. And after the break, we got Torino. But the focus is on the next 4 games, guys. And yeah, so that's what's coming up. I want you guys in the chat now to put your predictions for Napoli-Liverpool, okay? And let's see what the chat says. So I'm gonna wait for you guys to type it out. Everybody go type out in the chat Napoli-Liverpool, your score predictions, and let's see what you guys think. Let's get that rolling in. 3-1 Napoli, 3-1, 1-1, 2-1, a lot of 3-1s. Kvara 2 goals. 2-0 to Napoli. 2-0, 2-1, 2-1. Oh, we got a first 1-1 from Lawrence. He's the only person that thinks that Napoli won't win the game. Reece Nash, 1-1. 2-0, 3-1. Kvara is going to torture Trent. Ooh, that's a good lineup. That's a good face-off because Trent can't defend. Run for fun, 1-1 also. Noah, 1. So there's a lot of 1-1s actually. I can't imagine it being 1-1, to be honest. I think there's going to be goals in this game. I think there's going to be at least 3 goals. 2-0 Napoli. 2-1. Napoli. Klopp does not like playing in Napoli. That's true. Klopp didn't like playing against us when he was at Dortmund. Didn't like playing against us when he was at Liverpool in the past few times. So let's see if that goes on. But the common factor that we had at the time was Insigne, who always used to score against Klopp at Napoli. It's a different team, very inexperienced in the Champions League, this team. So let's see how they play. 2-1 Napoli, 3-2, says Goga Zarko. I don't think my heart could handle a 3-2. Because you know that a 3-2 is going to be all over the place. It's going to be like 1-0 to us, then 2-1 to Liverpool, then 3-2 for us, or something like that. My recommendation for a bet, both teams to score. I mean, if you guys like to bet, and I am no financial advisor, so don't take this advice and don't bet with what I tell you guys. But have a look at how many games end as a 0-0 in the Champions League, and the answer is very few. So I would pick, if there's 32 teams, so 16 games, I would pick 10 random games and make an accumulator that each game is going to have more than 1 goal. Put €5 and probably you're going to get 50 out of there. Probably. I mean, I've done it a few times, but yeah, it's especially the first few games of the group because it's quite open, because a lot of teams, you know, there's no point like trying to like, there's no point trying to play defensive. You've got nothing to defend in the first game. You just want to go out there and get as many points as possible at the start, so that it's less of a problem later on. You want to qualify as quickly as possible. So a lot of teams are super offensive in the first few games. I want a 3-0 win, says, but yeah, well, I want $1 million. I think 3-0 is going to be almost impossible, guys. Almost impossible. You think Kvara have a spot in the starting 11 already, says John Lennon? Yeah, 100%. He's like our best player. Raspadori with a brace. He's not going to start, Raspadori. There's no way. But he might come on in the second half. And I think my light here has just died. So guys, my light has died. I will wrap it up, guys. Thank you for... Let me see if I can get a bit more light on my face with this other light. Guys, thank you for turning up. There's a lot of you today. Thank you for all your donations, all your likes, everything. And as always, guys, have a good weekend. Enjoy the win and see you very soon. And Forza Napoli sempre. Ciao.